Right, so the situation we're talking about today can fall into many different genres, right? We can talk about like brand drama or luggage drama, you know, they all sound a bit boring. But the genre I want to class the situation as for today's video is the human claw machine drama. It's the exact same situation regardless of what title we give it, but I mean, human claw machine drama, it sounds a bit more interesting, doesn't it? But either way, let's actually add some context to the situation. So the main brand you need to be aware of today is a company called Beis Travel, to be exact, I guess. Now, Beis is a company that is owned by Shay Mitchell. This TikTok account right here with 7.5 million followers. Shay is actually a well-known actress. She has been in many different like movies and TV shows. There's some movies here on IMDb. The main one being this TV series, Pretty Little Liars, which I'm sure most of you have heard of. And Beis, the company, seems to specialize in luggage, as the name would suggest, right? Beis Travel. These suitcases are pretty sought after. I mean, I didn't realize they were so popular, but clearly they are. Here's some of the options here, and they're pretty expensive, right? We're talking like £250 to £300 for a suitcase. It's more than I would personally spend on a suitcase, but also I've seen more expensive, right? Well, recently Beis released a new suitcase. It's a pink suitcase, and they want to do like a marketing campaign for this suitcase, so they decided to come up with an idea of a human claw machine. And in fact, we have a video uploaded to the Beis page here kind of showing what it was about. Now, the music's copyrighted, so I'm going to talk over it, but as you can see, the suitcase are in this pit. You're attached to this like zip wire, kind of like a human claw machine, and you can try and pick out a suitcase for yourself, and you end up getting it for free. We can see there's a video here uploaded by a TikToker called Anna Reports News, who actually shows the invitation for this event. And this is right here. It says, "You're invited, come hang out at the Beis Human Claw Machine." There's a bit of text that we can't really see, but it says, "Take your shot at snagging a sweet prize from our freshest drop of the season, Beis Berry." We all see the date and location, and it's meant to run from 11 AM to 7 PM, which is quite important in the story. And as you can imagine, a lot of people made videos surrounding this event. A lot of influencers were invited specifically to the event to kind of like make videos. One in particular is Oriana, a TikToker with 127,000 followers. And here's a quick look at her video to kind of see what type of videos people are making.
I'm about to go in a human claw machine. Beis invited me to their pop-up for their berry collection, so obviously I have to bring you with me. Okay, we're here. What do I need to do? Okay. Are you ready?
Beis?
Good.
In the back? Here in back?
Good.
So you get the point, right? You get harnessed in and you pick out your suitcase. Now, it's at this point where things started going wrong, because a lot of people have been voicing their frustrations with this event. And specifically, it's all surrounding the fact that a lot of people were waiting a lot of hours and didn't even get a chance to attempt the machine. Like, here's a post on Reddit that says, "Disappointed with the Beis Human Claw Machine event," and it goes on to say, "Hey everyone, just wanted to share our experience at the recent Beis Human Claw Machine event, because honestly, it was really disappointing. My partner and I arrived around 9 AM and waited in line for 6 hours. I know we tried, only for them to cut the line before the time they had originally said it would close. The staff kept checking inventory throughout the event, so they must have known supplies were running low, but there was zero follow-up or communication with what was going on. It really felt like the event was mishandled, especially for those of us who showed up early and put in the time. We supported Beis before, but this left such a bad taste. If you're going to hold an event like this, at least make sure there's enough inventory or have a fairer system in place. Did anyone else go? What was your experience like?" Now, this definitely isn't the only time we will see people kind of complaining and giving their criticisms of the event. Now, again, like I said earlier, when we looked at the invitation, it was supposed to close at 7 PM. It became very clear that that didn't happen. And I mean, as I also said in the invitation, it starts at 11 AM, right? But we have someone here who got there at 9 AM, 2 whole hours before it even opened, and they didn't even get a chance to go on the machine. Which wouldn't be as bad, right, if they were told in advance, like, "Okay, right, it's looking like we don't have enough inventory for this amount of people, so I just want to let you know, because if you're waiting in the line for this long, there's a chance you might not be able to get on it." From what we're seeing from everything, like what people are saying, people weren't told until they'd already waited for 6, 7, 8 hours. I mean, here's a video uploaded by a creator called Dina Dow. I'm so sorry I pronounced that wrong, but she actually uploaded a video. It's just kind of like music in the background, like a screenshot of text on the screen. So I'll read the text. It says, "POV, you waited 6 hours in the Beis Travel pop-up line to get nothing because they ran out of product. But at least we saw Shay Mitchell." And again, that is clearly the big problem here, right? Because at the end of the day, it's a free suitcase, right? So it's not something people have paid for and then they didn't get the product. But these are people who have waited in line for 6 hours as the example here. We even see someone who waited for 8 hours later on in the video. So of course, if you're waiting in line for something for 6 hours and you're not being told like, oh, there's a chance you might not get a go, you are going to be annoyed when you finally get closer to the front and realize, oh, I'm not going to get a go. Also, if we look at the description of this video, it kind of goes into a little more detail about like what time she got there and whatnot. And it says that they got there at 10 a.m. They waited 6 hours, meaning it closed around 4 p.m., not 7 p.m. Now, obviously, them times might not be exact, right? We do later on here, like, a different time of when it closed. But either way, from everything we're hearing, it definitely closed, like, quite a bit earlier than what was expected. Now, if we look at the comments of this video, someone has actually commented saying, oh my god, what? Did they at least give you anything to compensate? To which Dina replied saying, they give us ID wristlets, lol. I don't even know what that is. Is this what it is? Is it just, like, a lanyard? I've never heard ID wristlets before, but from what I can see, it's definitely not as exciting as a full suitcase that's worth a couple £100. Now, we are about to get to some very more specific situations that happened that have went viral, right? I'm talking like one of the videos on like 20 million views talking about this situation, so we will get to that in just a second. But first, I want to talk about the reason why this might have even happened in the first place and what people are saying, and I have like no proof to kind of back this up, right? This is just what people who are at the event or people who have like heard from people at the event and whatnot have been saying. And it seems like the theory going around is that a bunch of influencers who were invited to the event got to cut the line and also were able to take like multiple products rather than just one suitcase, like the general public could only take one suitcase. And here's an example of a video kind of talking about this. It's uploaded by a TikToker called Lally or Lally, I'm so sorry I pronounced that wrong, 56,000 followers, and she uploaded a video kind of talking about the fact that influencers could take multiple products.
Beis Human Claw pop-up created some controversy. Now, some influencers were invited, but overall it was open to the general public. Where it looks like it went wrong was their response to situations that happened and allowing influencers to grab multiple products while the general public was only allowed one.
But now let's get into the most viral situations that came out of this, right? So a TikToker called Emmy uploaded a video that we can see is currently on 18.6 million views in just a day. Now, the second video that Emmy uploaded about this situation is kind of going into more details as to what exactly happened, because this first video is just kind of showing it happening, and without the context, it's hard to really understand what's going on here. But I think the description also adds some context. So I'll read the description first, and it says, I was about to get a luggage, but they took them out right before I went up. I could already feel the luggage in my hands, lol. Waited 8 hours, still such a cute pop-up. Once they took out the bags, I was able to get a weekender bag, but no luggage. So basically, Emmy has waited in the queue for 8 hours, and she's about to go into the claw machine. She's seen that there's like luggage still left over and she's very excited. She's going to get one of these like bigger items. And then just as she was about to go up, in fact, she does kind of go up at first, then she's brought back down. Someone then goes in and takes out the remaining luggage. And at this point, it just left like these weekender bags, which are kind of just like over the shoulder, like sling bag type things. Okay, so you can see Emmy's waiting to go here. She goes up, but then kind of comes back down. And at this point, someone jumps in, as we can see, one of the members of staff. And then he starts taking out the luggage. And clearly, Emmy is very disappointed in this video. Now, we're not really sure exactly what happened with the luggage and why it was taken out, right? The theory that I seem to think could be true, but again, it's not based on fact, is later on we hear about a story where Shay Mitchell herself actually showed up to the event and she picked out like the last 2 remaining bits of luggage and give them to someone at the back of the queue. So I'm assuming because inventory was running low and they knew Shay was going to come in and do this bit where she got like the remaining luggage, they took out 2 items, like 2 suitcases, so that they could put them back in when she arrives and she can definitely actually get a suitcase to give to someone. Again, that might not be true, right? I'm just assuming from what I've seen, and we'll see later on a bit further, like, why that seems like it could be likely. But either way, let's actually take a look through the comments, because like I mentioned, that this video's went incredibly viral. Now, one comment that definitely stands out amongst the rest, right, is actually from Beis Travel themselves that says, hi, Emmy, we're sorry to hear about this little error. We, of course, want to make it right. Please check your DMs, and we'll get to that in just a second. But as for the other comments, there's a comment here with over 100,000 likes. It's kind of saying what I just said with the Shay Mitchell grabbing the 2 last suitcases, and it says, probably took them out to guarantee that Shay Mitchell could get the 2 she got. There's more comments like this one with 50,000 likes saying, oh, why would they do that? This one with 16,000 likes saying that they give out too many suitcases in the beginning for the influencers, but when it got to me, it was just like the weekender bags and t-shirts. And then there's a bunch more comments. These all have like a ridiculous amount of likes that says, this is a bad look. I will spend my money elsewhere. Sorry it's happened to you. It seems like this whole event was a mess. This is high-key low-key evil of them. Genuinely can't stand how influencers get everything for free, and even at pop-ups we can't even get those items. Like, what? Waiting for hours to get basic merch. So yeah, people clearly weren't happy with this situation, right? And Biz were receiving a lot of backlash because of this. Now, Emmy did upload a second video kind of go into more details, and she actually started off by saying that Biz have reached out and she is hoping to actually get the luggage that she wanted.
I want to start off by saying thank you to everyone who took their time to comment on my video yesterday. I really didn't think my video was gonna blow up, but it did, and I'm happy that you guys did reach out to them for me, and they did reach out to me. So I am hoping to get the big bag, the big luggage that I wanted, and thank you guys so much.
So I mean, if Biz do actually give the luggage that Emmy clearly wanted and she got to the front of the queue and it was still in there when she got to the front of the queue, so if they make the situation right and give her that luggage, I mean, fair play, right? A lot of brands don't do that nowadays. We speak about a lot of situations where brands don't make it right. That would definitely be helping out the situation. Now, Emmy does go into more detail on the situation as to what exactly happened, talking about how she got to the front, then the bag was removed.
So then it was my turn, and I was up, I saw the two luggages in there. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get the big one for me, and my boyfriend was right behind me, so he was gonna try to get the next one after. But as I was going up and I was already set on where I was going, they brought me back down. It did feel a little bit loose on my harness, so I thought that they were just bringing me down to adjust it and then put me back up so I can go inside the pit. Previously, there was a person that I guess their harness just wasn't adjusted right, so they had to readjust them.
Oh yeah, so she actually thought originally she was getting brought down, just kind of like readjust the harness, and then obviously you see that the fucking suitcases are getting chucked out. So yeah, I mean, again, in the grand scheme of things, when you just say like, oh, it's a free suitcase and she didn't manage to get it, that doesn't sound like the biggest deal in the world. But when you consider the fact that she waited 8 hours in a queue, wasn't told any of this was going to happen, literally got right to the front after waiting 8 hours, she was finally going to do it, and then they're like, oh no, actually, we're just going to get rid of them. Like, of course you would be annoyed in that situation. I mean, who wouldn't? Emmy then carries on, says that she was devastated after this happened, but the staff were just like, there's nothing they can do.
At that point, I was just completely in shock. I was devastated. I told my boyfriend and the people behind me that I had made friends with, I'm like, they took out both of them. They took both of them out. My boyfriend actually told them if they could just get, the luggages from the back like they did for the previous people, and then the guy was just like, I wish.
And then ends the video explaining how she was unable to get the Weekender bag after that, and she wasn't happy with the whole situation.
So I did end up getting the Weekender bag, and I was just not super happy about how it ended, just because I was about to get into the pit that had 2 luggages in there, and I was about to be able to get the one I wanted.
But that wasn't the only like big viral situation that came out of this. This one was kind of just as viral, really, and it was uploaded by a TikToker called Grippy Sock Lifestyle, which is an interesting name. And looking at the description, it says just a little bit Alexis. I'm assuming her name's Alexis, so I'm going to call her that throughout. Now the problem here is that Alexis's original video is being removed, and we kind of hear why it's being removed a little bit later on. But I was actually able to watch the video before I'm recording now, when I kind of was originally planning this video, but it's now been deleted. I don't have like a download of it or anything, but I can explain what had been said before we get to the part 2, where we actually end up hearing an update to the situation. So Alexis started off a video by saying that she was waiting in the queue for hours, you know, just waiting to be able to have a go on this claw machine. Obviously, we've already heard right now there was a lot of people who weren't able to have a go, and it was going to be closing earlier than expected, and it got to the point where the staff actually came up to Alexis and said, you were the last person in this queue, everyone kind of behind you isn't going to be able to have a go because we don't have the inventory for it. So at this point, everyone behind Alexis left because they weren't able to get a go, right? Except one person actually stayed and was kind of committed to the fact, like, I've been waiting, I'm going to stay regardless if you said that I couldn't. Obviously, you need to make it clear here that everything I'm saying right now is obviously from Alexis's video. I don't know the whole, like, story or anything. That's what happened. I'm just kind of, like, rehashing what Alexis said. Now, at this point, this is where Shay Mitchell actually had to go on the claw machine, right? So this is where a lot of people are assuming that the 2 other suitcases were put back in so she was able to grab them. Here's actually a screenshot on Shay Mitchell's TikTok account of her having a go on the claw machine, and you can see there's a couple of suitcases in there. So Shay ended up having a go, and she decided she wanted to give the suitcase that she grabbed to the last person in the queue. You can probably see where this is going. And in fact, there was a video uploaded on the Beis TikTok account of Shay doing this and grabbing the suitcase and then giving it to the last person in the queue, which, as we've heard from Alexa's story, was someone who wasn't supposed to be the last person in the queue. It was someone who actually decided they were going to stay, regardless of the fact that they were told that they had to leave. Now, that video on the Beis TikTok account has been deleted. deleted, I guess because they would get a lot of hate because of this situation, right? But then to make matters worse, a lot of the remaining people in the queue, even though there was meant to be like a cutoff of like, okay, you're the last person, it turns out Alexis wasn't the last person because they actually run out of stock before it even got to Alexis, and the remaining people in the queue, after being told like they were going to be able to get a go, were only able to get like a wallet each, and they weren't able to like try and get one of the items of the luggage or like even have a go on the machine. Which I've got to say, with that in mind, it does make like the idea of Shay Mitchell giving the suitcase to the last person in the queue when all these people in front of her aren't even able to have a go and they've waited longer than this person. That seems like a bit of a weird decision to make. So yeah, that was the first video. Alexis ended up getting a wallet for compensation, I guess, for waiting so long and not being able to have a go. And if you're wondering why that video was deleted, if we actually look on the comments on the part 2 that we'll watch through in just a second, but in the comments we can actually see that Alexis replied to a comment that says, "Did you delete your first video?" Alexis replies saying, "Beis recommend I take the video down due to the level of harassment that the girl was receiving." So that's the reason the first video was deleted, because even though Alexis wasn't like calling out this girl specifically and identifying her, obviously Beis did upload the video giving the suitcase to the last person as well, so people could kind of like piece it together, I guess, and then this person started getting hate, which is obviously uncalled for. But either way, let's actually watch through part 2, where Alexis started off by saying that she is grateful for everyone who supported her since her first video.
Good morning, everybody. I'm sending a quick follow-up after the video that went crazy yesterday, and I am shocked and a little overwhelmed with the amount of attention that it got. And I am so grateful to everybody that took the time to listen, to support, to reach out and see if the situation could be remedied. I appreciate you all so much. You don't know me and you don't owe me anything, and it was really great to have some support over what had happened.
And then Alexis goes on to say that Beis have actually reached out to try and fix the situation.
Beis, Shay, people from the event reached out to me pretty much immediately and apologized and asked to remedy the situation, which was really kind of them. So if you're seeing this after the couple of videos that have been going around, everything has been remedied. They've reached out to me. I'm super appreciative of them. The event sounds like it had some hiccups to work through, and so many people came.
Yes, what I will say is that what we're hearing here is that Beis have been reaching out to these people directly to try and fix these situations. I hope it's not just obviously the videos that went the most viral. I hope like anyone who maybe experienced something that they're not happy with, you know, waiting 8 hours to do something, they're being told, yeah, you're going to be able to do it, getting to the front and then not being able to do it. I hope there is some type of resolution for them people as well who maybe haven't uploaded a video that's got 20 million views. But yeah, you've got to give credit where credit's due, and by the sounds of it, they have been trying to solve these situations, or at least the ones that we have heard of. Now, Alexis does end this video by saying that she doesn't want the girl that she was talking about to receive any more hate.
Secondly, I had no intention of ever showing the identity of this girl. It was just me being frustrated that event staff and the communications of the guidelines and expectations for the line were not being clearly enforced. So please stop trying to find her. Please do not report her to anything. This is a young working professional, and she deserves as much chance to be successful and to learn and grow from this.
Now, looking at the comments on this video, it seems like people still aren't happy with this girl who was at the back of the queue, right? There's a comment here said Shay Mitchell going to her and offering her was absolutely a life test for that girl. She had the option to either be an honest citizen or take advantage of the situation. Karma will follow. There is also some comments here saying that's awesome. Did they tell you what they're sending? Obviously with Beis saying that they're going to send out a product to Alexis. Alexis is saying no idea, so we don't know what the product's going to be. Hopefully it's something similar to what was actually like in the pit and that's what people wanted, right? But who knows what's going to happen. Obviously these things need to be shipped. They can take days. We're probably not going to get some updates for a little while. But either way, I would love to know your opinions in the comment section down below on everything that we spoke about in today's video. To me, it seems like it all kind of boils down to a lot of mismanagement with the way that the pop-up was ran, and that's actually resulted in a lot of like confusion and a lot of like disappointed people, right? I did see a lot of people suggesting that there should be like wristbands next time to say kind of like you're in the queue and what position you are in the queue, because a lot of people were just pushing in, only waiting like for a short period of time and getting in front of these people who waited hours. And obviously in this case, people who waited 8 hours didn't even get a go, 6 hours didn't get a go, so on. It clearly could have been run smoother. It looks like they are trying to fix the situation and see what they can do, so we'll see how that kind of goes. But I think recently we have seen with a lot of brands, I think like Poppy for example, these like PR campaign things just aren't going to plan for a lot of companies, it seems. But yeah, like I said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you did enjoy the video, please do leave a like on it, subscribe if you are new, and until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, goodbye.